What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're back in our Gas Course project, a game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, of course, the Game Playability System plugin, C++ blueprints, and all of that good stuff. So today, what we're going to try to do, obviously it's going to probably take multiple streams, but we're going to try to see if we could set up a melee combo system using state trees. Because right now we have a basic melee attack that does a single move, but we at least have all the systems ready for like melee combat, I suppose, where we have, well, I just added trails and things. It wasn't streamed when I was adding that. I found a nice asset pack, and then I created some changes. I made like a better parent material, no, parent Niagara effect, and I can kind of stream in more effects and stuff like that. I do see that it doesn't get killed when it finishes, so I gotta fix that. Should fire an editor. I guess it should be fixable here. I don't know. For some reason, this is the first time this has happened. Unless it's fixing itself now. Maybe it fixed itself? I'm not sure. Is there a particle I can look at? Trail. No? Okay. That was a weird case, but we'll have to come back to it later. But yeah, so we have melee combat, quote unquote melee combat. But yeah, it'd be good to be able to, you know, keep pressing left click and buffering input and playing different animations instead of the same one over and over again. And state trees might be a good way to do that because it's, you know, like a state machine, and melee combos can work like a state machine. So it wouldn't hurt to try. There's a lot, like state trees is still relatively brand new, and there's still a lot of stuff we need to probably make. But I have some good references on top of my mind that maybe we can try to do. And we can kind of just see the good or the bad and kind of take it from there. So that's what we're going to try to do. So now I should be able to turn should fire an editor on. And there's the trail again. Let me just make sure that trail that was keep on playing. That was kind of a weird bug, maybe because it's not like branching point or something, and I need to make sure that we get branching point on it. Maybe. Okay, forget about that for now. Let's go into our player character. And I don't think we have a state tree component. I should be able to make one. So I have state tree. And link state tree override. Overrides for link state trees. This table is used to override state tree references on linked states. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So start logic automatically. We don't have a state tree yet. So let's see if we could just hook it up and have it display like the first state by default. So we have player. Now I want to do, yeah, I have a state tree already. Did I already make one? There is SD player's parent. So that's cool. I don't know if I need to make one for the player, or not. Let's just do a new one. SD player underscore melee combo base. And let's add it here. Let's open up the base. Let's make a task for debug text. I'll just say, you know, player state tree. Say actor, right? And we have the debug text show up, player state tree right there. So we know it's running. So that's good. So honestly, we need to have some new tasks, because what I need to do is basically relay enhanced input into this main task and have it kind of slingshot back state tree events. So I'm not exactly sure how I should do that, but maybe I should first start with maybe a custom schema, because there's schema like state tree AI component. Maybe I can make one for the player. So let's look this up. State tree AI. Excuse me. Let's take a look at what that's doing. So context set turn data to okay. Not sure, honestly. So there's the get schema, then there is the use state tree component, which is this one. We have begin play, start logic, blah blah blah. There is the schema. Yeah, I don't know if I'm doing the schema class. What is this? Let me see. So state tree schema used with state tree AI component. So we have state tree schema. Okay. Use state tree schema. Is there... So there's the state tree component schema. A lot of information above my pay grade. Actor class that state tree is expected to run on. Probably would want to make my own. Yeah, there's the context actor class. And then there's get context actor class. I don't know, maybe that doesn't really matter. But I feel like it probably should, right? Because I definitely would want to need, like, potentially an evaluator. I feel like I would need to have, like, more context stuff as well. So there's this BP state tree evaluator base. And, you know, I could just have, like, a player evaluator thing that gives me information that I might need. And then, like, the global task, right? Maybe the global task could be which is responsible for, like, listening for input events and stuff like that. Let's see. So I definitely need to make, like, a custom task. So let's just start from there. And see where this could take me. So yeah, let's do public game. I don't know if there should be like a state tree folder. And then tasks. So GSC underscore state tree input listener. Oh. So we'll let that compile. And then we'll eventually start coding. Okay, so here's our input listener. I also need to I need to look at maybe my player character class, because there's a way to do this. So like bind action by tag, and we could do all of this stuff. So maybe we can basically bind like this. So we would have to get the enhanced input. Okay, so not sure why it's complaining about all that. Maybe because it's not finished doing the hot reload. Don't need core minimal. And then do I have to? Okay, I have to add a reference to the stream module. Makes sense. Okay. So we have a constructor, receive latent enter state, receive exit state. So called when a new state is entered and a task is part of the active states. Use finished tasks to set the time, blah, blah, blah. Receive state completed. Latent tick. Okay. A bunch of deprecated stuff. So there is the virtual enter state and exit state. Finish task, runs, should state change on reselect. So there's the get instance data type. Okay. So we definitely need to do the on enter state. Override. So I'll say return a state. Is it? Succeeded for now. Oh my god. Why did it do such a weird include? Alright, let's see if that will compile. Look who it is. Hello. Hey, Cena Strikes, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. How's the life? Dealing with Blender? What are you making? I'm doing good. Just came from a long weekend. So now I'm just chilling back at it. You're learning? Cool, cool. What are you starting off with learning? Are you going to make a blender in Blender? I know one of the default primitive shapes is a teapot. Maybe you can make a blender. So we have to cache and then run. Do I have to do like a super instead? Maybe. Maybe that's supposed to be the play. Okay. We built successfully, but with warnings. Oh, I gotta sneeze again. Excuse me. So it does not list plugin stage tree as a dependency, but much depends. Okay, so we gotta update the U project as well. Let me nuke that real quick. So U project. Okay, do I have to say state tree? Can I say super? No. Okay. Well, yeah, I have state tree module up here and I have state tree module here. I have seen some tutorials on YouTube. Now I'm just making stuff. Tonight you're gonna be making a sword. Very good. Very cool. I definitely need. Well, I have a placeholder sword mesh that I got from an asset pack. It's good enough for now. Yeah, thanks for redeeming that hydrate. I gotta drink this zero sugar Red Bull. This project's taking its time generating. There's bind actions by tag. What other stuff is in the enhanced input component that I can listen to? Do I have bind action by tag? I feel like there has to be like a bind action. So get all action bindings of a type. See bind action. So there is this binds to an object U function. Find action value lambda. So maybe I could do a lambda expression. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, so it didn't compile. Can we try again? Because yeah, it's really not happening here. I don't know why there's two includes as well. So could not find definition for the module state tree. Where's the module state tree? So this one? There's gameplay state tree and everything. Do I have to say gameplay state tree? Oh no. Sure why it's giving me problems. Now I gotta generate the U project file again. Yeah, warning. Gas, of course, U project does not list plugin state tree as a dependency, but module gas source depends on. But that's why I'm like confused, because state tree is not. It's not the plugin listed. I'm doing something dumb. Is there a plugin called state tree that I need to add that's just not visible? Let's try this one more time. I don't like the fact that these aren't really like they aren't really fixing itself. This is add a reference to module state tree module and gas course.build.cs. And there is already one. So hopefully when it's done generating the project, it'll be okay at this point. Maybe I'll spend all stream trying to just enable this correctly. Okay, yeah, still not liking this, but let's see, do we get any different results at this point? Hey, how's it going? What's up for today? Yeah, we're slow. Okay, we finally got this not throwing errors. Yeah, we're gonna try to see if we could set up melee, like melee combo tracking through state tree. We'll see how that goes. Not super confident, but we'll see. But at least now we're compiling with no warnings or errors here. So can I do super now? Yes. So far so good. A surprised Pikachu face? Why are we surprised? I also wonder, do we have to... If you end up needing to bind value by lambda, are we able to bind a lambda to receive the action instance data from an input event? There's bind action value, binds a U input action assigned. Is there an unbind? Not sure. No reason, just spam an email. It's all right, go for it. I'm thinking about using an attribute on ASC for combo tracking, like the stacking approach, but only for the player. How would that work? Are you making the assumption that like a value of 1 is combo 1, value of 2 is combo 2, and then 3? Because yeah, I could see maybe that could work. It just depends on how well you'd want combo really to flow. Just in case you have like a heavy and a light attack and stuff, but maybe you'll have 2 attributes, like light attack combo tracking attribute and a heavy attack tracking attribute, maybe. So let's add a task. Do I have anything? So here's input listener, right? And now see, yeah, there's nothing there, which is totally fine. So what would be next? Let's see if we can get the enhanced input. So return super, right? So for now, do that. Yeah, controlling montages by index. That could possibly work. I don't see why not. Maybe that's a better way of doing it. But yeah, maybe at that point, yeah, you would use like, because what I'm thinking is, I have this kind of state tree state machine that's kind of like transitioning to each state and then giving me like a tag or some data that I can then pull inside of the melee ability. So I can pick the animation, I can pick up details about it like warping distances or I don't know, damages or something like that. But maybe using an integer is just a straightforward way to do it, which is not bad. So what's the context? Context dot get there's a get owner. What does get owner return to me? Okay. A U object. Owner. I mean, I know it's a very simple hacky approach, but we could maybe evolve from there. I wouldn't say it's hacky, honestly. Like, if it gets the job done, it gets the job done. Return super here. I just want to see what information I get. Because maybe I can request as an input. Also, not many articles on gas plus melee combo for references. I saw one. I think I actually have it. Do I have it open? No, I don't have it open. Give me a second. Posted it on Discord. I don't know if it was in my general or in the gameplay one. Maybe it was in the gameplay one. Boom, 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 boom. Gotta go far back in this thread. I swear I posted something somewhere. Because there is some reference from a plugin, I think, that I found from another Discord server. Here it is. It's good documentation from, I think, a plugin. I'm not too sure about it, but it gives you some information on how they did it. Okay, so let me press play. I do get owner. Do I have any information? So warning owner. So it is the elf character. Okay. So we gotta start. Hey, you know, no worries, no worries. They go kind of in depth, but obviously, I think again, it's for I think it's called Ninja Combat based on what I'm seeing. It's a gas framework for adventure and RPG games, and yeah, pretty much a lot of information on how they did things. So I recommend it. I didn't read all of it, obviously, because it's a lot, but could be useful. And it seems to be incomplete. But... Okay, so I don't know how U properties will really work here inside of state trees, but let's say, hey, Kavazar, how's it going? Thanks for popping in. Let's just see what a T array of view input actions. What's wrong with here? So found when expecting. So let's see what that looks like. Maybe I can also try to do, so maybe I could say, hey, or I should open up my player character. So maybe I can just do like get component by class or something and pull it that way. So can I say, so let's just include this. But can we say something like, you know, if, and then we'll say equals cast checked context that get owner get component. Or should I first say, you know, a pawn owning pawn equals put this into like an if. And move this here. And then say, you know, owning pawn. Should be like a get component by class. Then can I just move this UE log? So have you checked out mover stuff for character movement, the new movement system? No, I haven't. I know that it exists. I just haven't used it personally. But maybe I don't know if it's going to be ready in 5.6. I'm excited for 5.6, but I don't know when it will be. So let's see if we're able to get the enhanced input. Now, I want to just see what this new property stuff looks like. I also wonder if, because we have the enhanced input component, do they have structs for these kind of events? They have an enum, right? They have these delegates, they have unbindings, binding handle. Because it's like trigger events, right? Yeah, it's an enum class. So they have these, right? So triggering is still being processed. For example, an action with press and hold trigger will be ongoing while the user is holding down the key. And then triggered, started, completed. I probably want to have... I don't know if I'll need to do that, though. So I need to include that. So So I need to do Alt Enter, include that. Syntax errors, const object must be initialized. I don't know if that's a problem just yet. But they should have. They have examples, right? Of like, so task print, was it? I don't remember. Excuse me. I don't know what the name of that task was. May I ask you something based on your professional experience with game dev? Of course! You may ask whatever you would like. I think Discord's like the most frequently updated software that I have on this computer. It's like every day it's something. Yeah, I gotta start turning on more of my streaming lights. It's getting dark outside. There we go. Maybe a little brighter. So how do you guys come up with a decision like which inventory approach to take? Do you like prototype or it's a main system or used across everything? I mean, it comes from, I guess, general experience. You know, first you have to, try to come up with a design that fits whatever type of game. So I mean, instances versus IDs only, for example, network. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess it really just depends on the type of game you're making. Because obviously, if you're making multiplayer, then there's a lot of other things to consider. Like you're saying, like how much data needs to be passed along from server to client, what needs to be stored and sent back which way. I mean, that's where, as a designer, you kind of just say what you want to achieve and those details, and then you let the programmers figure out the nitty-gritty of it, you know what I mean? So it starts with the designers, and then you go into like the technical implementations with the associated teams, and you kind of figure it out that way. And if there is no design and you just start making it, you'll kind of need to backtrack a lot, refactor a lot, but that's just, game dev, I suppose, in a nutshell. Okay, so there is so I don't see my variables, but let's look at their example in C++ as well. And let's just see if I'm printing out my enhanced input here. Yeah, pawn input 0. So that looks like it's the right one. So what is the name of this task? So state tree debug text task. Let's look. So we have this, right? So optional actor, where to draw the text at. We have a struct. So we have a bunch of stuff here. I don't know. I guess I can do something like this as well. So the game designer kind of does not code at all, just consumes a system. Yeah. At a certain point, yes. I'm trying to understand where I would fit. Been working on tools for a while now. I mean, tools programmers are very useful in and of itself, knowing how to do debug tools and maybe I am GUI and stuff like that. You could also be a technical designer where you can prototype things, you can speak better to programmers exactly what you need and how it should work, and you kind of be like the middle ground person. That's where I kind of felt. And or you could just be both, you know. But as a designer, you kind of need to know a lot of the general context of what the system should kind of tie into with other parts, if that makes sense. Let me copy paste this. Let's see, I'm getting. Where's the debug tree one again? There. So it's not really a class, is it? All right, let's see. What happens when I break it? So let me just move it down here. I definitely want to have a U property for input actions. So I have something like that edit anywhere, of course. That's why I wasn't able to see it. Do that. So I want to say something like this. So instance data, maybe task. Definitely going to break everything again. But I don't really care about a reference actor. We'll keep it for now. I'm definitely gonna break this. All right, let's just try to compile and we'll just kind of see what happens. But yeah, let me also look real quick at the debug text thing. There should be an interstate, right? Yeah. So I'm trying to understand what I'm into tools and combat, but I'm terrible in VFX and cutscenes. Okay, I mean, you could be like a technical combat designer. That could also work. That'd be pretty cool. Thanks for the subscription there, Barkat Khan from YouTube. I appreciate that. I mean, it would be good to know how these combat systems would work and all the ins and outs of melee, for example, if that's the kind of combat you want to do, or range combat and all that good stuff. Yeah. So right now, I'm blindly gonna try to do this. So what is this? So it's the struct. this is this one. So there's a F state tree debug task. That's fine. Has no member enter state of type. Can I generate this code safely? Maybe that'll still be okay. Let's try compiling. We'll get the answer. So I spent like 6 months coding some good AI base. So now I just ported over projects. Wanted to avoid heavy EQS queries for good performance. AI based in Doom. Okay. I mean, you can always, either look for help with VFX and cutscene stuff from other forums or other devs or marketplace assets if you want to go that route. Because you could potentially, do those things with placeholder assets and then work up to a pitch and pitch your game idea to investors and just do enough to make it look good. And then you get some investment money and then you can actually hire people and then you can actually, maybe build something from there. So I think all of it's pretty doable. It just depends on how far you want to take it on your own, So I know for sure I'm not going to compile correctly. So can I open file? All that stuff, yeah. Now is the problem because I need to regenerate? Let's close out of Writer for now. And reopen it. Sort of unrelated, but I'm excited for the new Doom game. Is anyone gonna be playing the Oblivion remake as well? Is that on Steam? I know it's on Day One Game Pass, but I don't have Game Pass. Maybe I should get Game Pass, but yeah, maybe indie, but not only like working at a studio. Yeah, I mean, again, it depends on. Okay, yeah, here's the Oblivion remastered. What are people saying about it? Very positive. Okay, yeah, I'm down. I'm gonna. I mean, what's the difference between the deluxe edition? Oh my god, I took out the wrong one. Let's do Digital Deluxe Edition. Come back to it later. Doom is awesome. I'll surely play it, even though my girlfriend has motion sickness. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I mean, the new one is still fast, but I know they are slowing down the combat a little bit because they're introducing melee and stuff like that. But still, Doom is fast. So even if you slow down Doom a little bit, it's still gonna be hella fast. Yeah, I bought the Oblivion remaster today. It's been a super long time since I played it. I've never played Oblivion. I played Skyrim. I played the crap out of Skyrim. I was one of those people that played Skyrim, like all the side quests, and then I did the main quest, and the main quest was so easy. But yeah, I'm excited to play it. But yeah, currently I'm playing. What am I playing right now? Me and my partner are playing It Takes Two when we have the time. But I'm also playing Death's Door. Death's Door is pretty tough, pretty unforgiving with the way when you die in that game and you have to like spawn back pretty far back. Not like, you know, save time wise, but like you die in one area and you have to start at the very beginning and just kind of tread back, which kind of sucks. But it is what it is. Okay, so we're still getting issues. So do I have to... Let's see. I don't think we're going to get very far today. So I want to get rid of my binaries and intermediate, I think. Then I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to generate. Currently, I have just finished Split Fiction. Yeah, we just finished Split Fiction as well. Now playing Days Gone and Tsushima. I had recently beat Tsushima as well. How long did that take me? I think I played 60, almost 60 hours. But I also played the DLC. I played 55 hours. Also a very good game, because yeah, Ghost of Yote is coming out, I think this year. What a good one. Wish there was co-op in Witcher so I could play with her. Yeah. But yeah, Witcher 3 I played last year, and I have over, I think it's about 100 hours. 155 hours, okay. But I tried playing that game a couple times, so I won't count that. So at least 100 hours, right? But yeah, I gotta play Horizon at some point. I have a lot of games I need to go through. I need to play The Last Berserker, I believe it's called. Heard good things about that one. I played Sifu. That was a good one. I also need to make sure input action is before the generated here. But yeah, too many games to play. I mean, it's a good problem to have, I suppose. But yeah, I need to play catch up at some point. But for the longest time, I wasn't playing on my Steam Deck. Like I bought it I think it was during lockdown I bought it. So now I'm getting back into using the Steam Deck to play some more indie games, and then using my PC to do the heavy lifter ones. Yeah, I really like Split Fiction. They did some really, really cool stuff. Like since you said you beat it, they did some really cool stuff like towards the end of the game during like the final boss battle, the way they're like splitting the screen and blending the worlds together and everything like that. That was really cool. They had some really fun mechanics, and going back and playing It Takes Two, you can see where all the inspirations came from, and you know, a lot of difference in quality too. But yeah, me and my partner had a lot of fun with it. And I forget the other game they made. I think it was before It Takes Two. It was the two dudes. Maybe I can look at their store page. Hazel Studios. A Way Out. That's what it's called. Yeah. But also, they're definitely pro-consumer with the whole friend pass stuff. That's super nice. Oh yeah, I just beat Hyperlight Drifter. That was also a good one. I played a little bit of Ultra Kill. I still need to play a little bit more of that. My girlfriend is cheering it becomes Game of the Year, but I think that depends on Rockstar release dates. True. Because, yeah, Rockstar will either flop or it'll be very, very good. There's no in between. And we're still getting errors. So I'm not sure how best to do that. Stage 3 debug test text task. Nope. Just need to look at as a reference here. So it seems to match. Let's compile and just deal with the errors. We'll see if the AI tool can help me out here. I'm not sure why. Like, is it because of the naming of the actual file? I'm assuming that's probably it, and I just need to rename it. So let me cancel the build again. Let's exit out of everything. Let's go source, gas course. We'll have to go both. So, date tree, tasks. That. Then. Like that. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Okay. Now binaries, intermediate again. Nuke that. Generate projects files. Okay. 10th time is the charm, as they say. I'm trying to think. There's some other good. What other games are coming out this year? Yeah, Rockstar's GTA. Is it 6? GTA 6, or is it GTA 5? I can't remember. But then there's Expedition 33. That looks pretty sick. Definitely want to play that at some point. Obviously, Doom. I can't think about anything else. GTA 6? Okay. But I think it launches on consoles first. and then PC, if I remember the news correctly. But yeah, I think Expedition 33 comes out real soon. Let's look. Yeah, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Coming the 24th, so in 2 days. So pre-purchase. Deluxe edition. Sure. We'll get that in the Oblivion remake. A little gifty for ourselves later. I'm sure you've answered this before, but I haven't tuned in for a bit. When do you think you'll release the gas course? Like, I don't know. I don't know if it, like, I'm still debating if it's going to be a gas course or not now, just because, like, I keep building stuff and making stuff, and I'm losing sight of how it could be constructed as a course. So I'm hoping I can, at the very least, get to a point where I'm happy if I want to make a game or not, or if it's okay to make it just as a example showcase and just document it on GitHub or something like that. So, you know, for now, I don't know. I know it's a shitty answer, but, you know, whatever end, like, unless it's a game that I actually want to make, like, I'll make sure to provide as much information online for free as I can. So either through those forum posts or just through Discord. Just making sure we kind of document and share as much information as possible. So for now, I don't know. Maybe I should not call it a gas course anymore. It's kind of like a force of habit to call it a gas course project. Can we make a game where we rip the bong and do cocaine and eat chips? Yeah. It's called Mario Party, man. You could always sell access to the browser. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very I don't want to put my foot in my mouth or anything like that, but I'm very hesitant about gatekeeping information. Especially through a price, because also when you make it a price, there's also like a certain obligation you make to the customer to like ensure that you fix any problems and stuff like that. And currently, I don't know if I'll have the capacity to like sell something like that and then keep up with its maintenance to kind of what's the word? Like keep up with maintenance that makes up for that price, you know what I mean? Absolute Chad mentality. Thanks. I know what it's like trying to learn this stuff. I'm still learning a lot of this stuff, and finding information is tough. And I'm lucky enough now to be in a financial place to afford courses or access to these things. But I know not everyone's like that, especially if you're young and learning. Maybe that's the closest thing I can get is, optional donations or something. So the code is available on GitHub, but none of the content stuff is. So you can only really just see what my code is doing. If you can download it, but I don't know if it's gonna compile or run or anything like that, but you can use it as a reference. And I try to update it every couple of weeks with what we're doing. So we have a syntax error. F-say tree debug text test and data. Okay, that makes sense. That doesn't make sense because we don't have that kind of task anymore. It's up here. So we do that and this should fix it. Yes. And now see we can update the debug text task. So we could say like input listener task. Feature stat, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then we have this. So hopefully this should compile now. All right, we got a new follower, Mass Fruity, my guy. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Yeah. So the only support I ask, is follows on social medias and stuff. You can subscribe if you want. Thanks, man. Much appreciated, guys. You don't have to, but I like it. Thank you. So we got a hype train somehow. This might be the first hype train. Oh, and a subscribe from you too, Master Rudy? Damn. You guys are too generous. I appreciate that. Okay, so there is inconsistent DLL linkage. What could that possibly mean? I do not know. So you're doing like a main tree state for AI? No, I'm using state tree to try to manage like a melee combo state machine. So I'm going to do it for the player. And what I'm hoping I could do is have a task to listen for enhanced input actions. So I know when you're pressing like, a light attack or a heavy attack, and then I can just have states and you transition and I can have labels for them. And I can, update something so I can read that information into the melee ability and say, okay, you're in this state, play this animation with this like damage data or something like that. That's at least my thinking at the moment. But obviously we're struggling. So, see previous definition of static struct. Let's see if the AI assistant can help at all, or if it's just gonna bug out and not help me. So what is this inconsistent? So the error indicates inconsistency in DLL linkage specifications, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I need to... Let me look at the debug task. But there is this define loc namespace. Do I have to also... Definitely undef it, I guess. Fix add state tree module API macro to the method implementation there, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. That's so weird. Because this example doesn't have that linkage either. That didn't do much. So is that really going to be the answer? So if I were to just do like that, for example. Do we get rid of some of these warnings, errors, what may have you? Yeah, it didn't seem to really fix it. So definition of daily input function not allowed. Cool. So first, make sure you're using your own modules API macro instead of state tree API. So something like this. So gas course API. Definitely doing something stupid here. So do I have to make this can I say gas course API? Is this gonna be kosher? Okay. So now, okay, let's cut that out. Can I put this back here? Let's try that one more time. Okay. So we're getting somewhere. I don't really know what this means. Let's have AI explain this to me like I'm fucking 5. So as a macro, use it on Real Engine's code generation system. Here's what it does. It's primarily used in CPP files to include automatically generate code for the corresponding header file. Reflection system, property replication, serialization. So, blah, blah, blah. The best part of the day. Yeah. I see someone in YouTube asking questions here. Sorry. So for AI character, should I need to use behavior tree or state tree? I mean, both are valid. They are trying to push state trees, so I think it's worth to learn. But behavior trees so far are still a valid way of working. So whatever, like, if you don't know either of them, I would kind of go for state trees. Hopefully in 5.6 they'll have like a lot of good updates for state tree. We are using a lot of state tree stuff at work, and we are providing a lot of code for state trees to Epic's repository. So 5.6, so hopefully have a bunch of stuff that we're using from work. Because right now I'm using 5.50, and yeah, it's all pretty different. So we'll have to see after the 5.6 update, whenever that comes out. But we would possibly need to update. Okay. So let's look now at our state tree task. Does it look any more interesting? So let's delete that. We have a task. So input listener. So we have an array of input actions. Yay. So yeah, we want to remove this icon for text because it's not really a text thing. And now we have input actions that we can listen for. So that's cool. We're getting somewhere. Now, like, I don't know if I don't know if it's already a pre-existing struct anywhere. But let's see. F, so input listener. No. That. So yeah, generate it by whatever, blah, blah, blah. Sure. Don't want it to be a T array. We just want it to be U input action. And then edit anywhere. Sure, why not? Then I need to make a E trigger event. Now, can I get the default to be none? Or does that have to work? I'm not sure. I'm still using behavior tree, but I'll migrate to state tree in this new project. Yeah, okay, nice. But yeah, state tree is pretty good. It's versatile as well, but I was never into AI and stuff, so I barely used behavior trees ever in my life. Give me a second here. I'm just answering some questions in Discord. Does state tree still use Blackboard or something new? It uses something new. Because yeah, I'm not sure how well you guys can see this. Control-Shift-W, let's make this huge. You have Blueprint Evaluators, which is like a class where you can then, in Blueprints, if you wanted to, kind of establish your Blackboard where your variables would be. And then you can use references to these things inside of state tree task. Like you have these reference actors. You can't really see it because of me. I'll move myself there for a second. So you have like a reference actor and you can bind things into these properties so you know what you're kind of listening for, what your context actors are and stuff like that. And you also have schemas, which could also do that as well. You can have a context actor and you can give yourself some properties there. I'm not 100% sure how it would work. I'm not too deep into the code, so I'm not really too sure. Hey, Casper, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. Yeah, definitely worth looking into state trees, but honestly, behavior trees still valid. Am I using common UI? I don't know. I don't think I am. I don't even remember what common UI is, honestly. I remember hearing about it. Common UI. Da, da, da. Oh, okay. I should, but now I don't. It would definitely make sense. For those curious. So yeah, what do I need? I need input action, then I need tags, right? So F gameplay tag, and then we'll say triggered event gameplay tag. Or maybe I could say something like that. Now so I wonder, can I say, so enhanced input component bind action instance lambda? Da 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 da. Lambda. So is there a bind? There's a bind instance lambda somewhere. So let's just grab that. Do that. So we're gonna say, you know, we also need to do this. So is it the instance data though that I need? I don't know. Ideally, I would like, before we end the stream, I want to make sure we do, like, I can know for sure we're responding to this input action correctly. So isn't it main plus of using stage trace that it is more performant than behavior tree? Like it's better for a large amount of AI actors? I'm not too sure. I assume yes, because, you know, I don't know why Epic would introduce something that's less performant, but I've seen crazier things happen. Something like that for sure. How far away are we? All right, we only have about 10 minutes left, so is there a way to, you know, from the context, I get the state tree? Is there like a way to send so let's send state tree event. I don't have the editor open anymore, right? No. So is there some way I should be able to send a state tree event, right? So use state tree component, right? So something like this. So how can I get the component here? Can I do, you know, so owning pawn, get component by class, new state tree component, or is it A? That's not A, right? A state. No. hopefully that's all still kosher. So I already have a gameplay state module in there. I already have view in here. So I'm not sure why it's complaining at the moment. Do I have to also do that in the new project? Gameplay. Is that a different plugin? Let's see. All right, I already include that one, so I can just do that. Still not happy about it. So use state tree component. Let's just try to compile and we'll see what happens. I haven't yet touched the UI side, but I'm wondering if Gas has built-in stuff to like display abilities recharge, or do I need to implement this in AEC to get effect remaining loading? So yeah, it doesn't come with anything like that by default. You there's references on my project. I think I created a task where you basically are listening for like the updates to the gameplay effect for like durations and cooldowns, and then you use the value returned to display, you know, either as a percentage or, you know, update a material or something to get the, you know, remaining cooldowns and stuff like that. I think Tranic also has stuff like that. So UI5 gas show cooldown on UI. It looks like Ryan Laley, sorry, has information on that too, but I don't know if he's using gas or not. It doesn't look like it. Give me a second here. I'll find it on Tranic's documentation real quick. Characters. Abilities. There is async cooldown changed. Yeah, this should be more or less what you're looking for, and you can also do it for duration. And I basically copied that, but also added it for duration. Yeah, so on attribute change, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for because they have get cooldown remaining for tag, and you can get the information that way. Hopefully you'll get the information there. Yeah, check it out. And also when my editor runs, I can show you what it looks like for my project right now. And I wonder, like, can you find action instance lambda on an array of input actions? Is that valid? Okay. Okay. Almost there. Wait, we're getting close to the end of the stream. But yeah, I want to see if we can get. I don't know if is there a way to prove that this would work. The state tree events and stuff like that. Not 100% sure at the moment. But yeah, let's see. So let's look at our task one more time. So here's our input listener data. Yes, we got that. So I think I have a melee. So triggered event. Yeah, I want to scope this to a specific set of tags at the moment. So there's input native action. So I probably want to do like input.statetree or something like that. All right, we got ourselves a bot. Let's ban the shit out of them. Bye-bye. Nice knowing you. But yeah. Yeah, let me just show you the cooldown stuff. So yeah, I'll just be in the middle of the screen for the time being. So I use the first ability. I have a duration bar that goes down, and then a cooldown, and then it comes back up. Instant effects are instantly activated. And then, you know, I have an aim cast, and I do this, I activate it, then it gets a cooldown. And then my dodges are stacked, so that the number of stacks is visualized there as well. You can't really see the duration bar too well, but it's there. So that's more or less how it works. Now let's say if state tree component, yeah, I know I can move this into an if statement, so let's just do that before it yells at me even further. Can I say state tree component sends state tree event? Can I say, so input listener data dot triggered gameplay tag? Can we use it in the HUD class? I'm not sure. I use it, you know, I just create the widget in the player controller and just handle it from there. So, all right, do I have to say like const? No. Const what? Can I just pass in the gameplay tag? Okay. So let's just do input and then test. Input.statetree.test. Let's copy this. Let's make this a global. Now, let's add a sibling state. We'll say, melee 1. And we'll say a transition on event, required event. So yeah, we'll say, so input.statetree test. We'll go to melee 1 and we'll make a task debug, and we'll just say melee 1 or just melee exclamation point. So melee 1, do that. Let's do a hot reload. And what's the problem? We're getting a warning. So root target state is in a different subtree, verified that this is intentional. I guess I can just save this. I can call this melee 0. So yeah, we still have 2 listener tasks as well, so let's just delete that. So we have melee. So live coding successful. So we'll say melee 0. So we should just get a bunch of debug text. Say yeah, melee 0. Now again, yeah, let's make a sibling. We'll say this is melee 1. Say transition on event. So input.statetree test melee 1. So let's see. So it doesn't look like it. There is a debugger. Hey, we got a kitty. Let's see. Now, is it because it's a global task that it's going to be problematic? Let's see. So that doesn't execute. Let's see. So it goes in. Let's see if it'll give me any data. It's evaluating forever, of course. Yeah, so IA melee triggered. So yeah, it doesn't really do anything. So, okay. Just to be sure, let's try not this as a global task, but as in the root. And we have a transition, so require event, it puts the tree test. Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't look like, yeah, this doesn't get called. Does this get called? No. Yeah, something. Not sure at the moment what it can be. Let's see. So we get to a certain point. So yeah, the mapping context should be fine. So yeah, input action melee. I have to make sure I bind to the right reference actor. Man, it doesn't look... It's not looking good for our heroes at the moment. So... Maybe because there's no tasks? We would still get the... No. We should get still the debug call. Melee 1. Yeah, we're still stuck in melee 0. So parameter instance is never used. And again, yeah, like the lambda is not called for some reason. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to look into this next time. I just realized I'm still in the middle of the fucking screen. Sorry. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna end it for today. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you join our Discord if you want to keep chatting and working on stuff together. Big shout out to both Coop56 and Mass Fruity for the subscriptions there. It's much appreciated. And the follows, of course. Since we have some viewers, we can go ahead and raid. We can do the first Crimson as usual. He's a good dev. So we'll see who will join. So yeah, thanks again for everybody for watching. Everyone on YouTube, thank you for watching there. We'll try to stream again. It's probably gonna be next week, just because of how busy life's being at the moment. So stay tuned for future streams. Take care of yourself, and see you guys soon.